Okay, this is Barbarossa Army Group North 1941 from GMT Games. It's part of the Eastern Front series. This is the old version, it's not the new reprint. It's pretty much Herculean efforts to get this set up last night and most of today. Which we have done. I did find that the chart. Well, one thing, because this is a title from 2000, I think it is. And we have a bus cat here. It's got a lot of component issues, and I think it's possibly a bit unfair to judge this in comparison with a new title. But I think if people are going to buy or even think about buying a second-hand copy of this, as the market becomes flooded when the new print, the new edition comes through, it might be worth just knowing what you're getting yourself into. Now, the first thing is these charts here. They're functional, but it's very confusing because they've tried to sort of include more than one setup on a single card. So that it sort of gets you, and you can find the same units on different charts and things. It desperately needs colour. It really does for doing this, but it's adequate. But just beware that you're not going to find it particularly user friendly to use. We've got, typical of an old style game, we've got charts on the actual maps themselves. This is something that's been pretty much abandoned in the industry. You might see the odd chart here and there, but you never see this thing where old style games have all huge amounts of charts on the actual thing. They're great, apart from a lot of the time. You see, if I'm playing as the Germans here, that chart, I'd have to reach right over there to read it. And then if someone's playing as the Russian on the other side of the table, it's upside down for them. So yeah, great idea, but there are chain effect charts on proper page, but they're not colour. Yeah, again, desperately need colour, which a modern title would have. The rule books, they've got a table of contents. They've even got an index. Now that is commendable for a title of this age. I don't know if it's by subject or a proper index, but it looks all right. I'll give them good marks for that. The manual doesn't have to be in colour, but really does help with presentation. You've got the scenario things here. Table of contents yet again. Doesn't seem to have an index. Is that no great issue for an actual playbook? It's got an expanded sequence of play on the back there. I'm probably going to search through Board Game Geek to see if I can find some tables that can work with this version that are maybe in colour and stuff like that. Counters are okay. They're thin. I've no idea if how they punch, because this was a second-hand copy, but they looked in pretty good state when I saw them, and they take a 2mm counter clip really well. The maps they look good, but they've got a little bit of problem that I found reading the hex numbers really difficult, because the font just seems to disappear. Even with a magnifying glass, you'd be hard put to read the actual hex numbers. I struggle with that. The same with the counters. I really struggled reading some of the information on the counters, and I was constantly reaching for the magnifying glass, especially to read these location hexes. You see that green band on the side there? It's a location hex. I was constantly having to use a magnifying glass to read that. Another interesting thing is the map over there. Look, colour. The blue colour's different on one of the map sheets. Goes over onto the lakes. You can see the same problem for the lakes. You definitely wouldn't get that with a modern title, or it wouldn't be something I've seen. I don't know about errata. I haven't had a look at this. The setup charts I did see, I didn't see any units that you couldn't place or find or anything like that. See anything else? The Leningrad, you've actually got the city over there, but when you, which is way up there, you can see the city just above you at the top, that like ring of orange hexes. You can actually play that out on another map, an insert map, where you can fight in the city itself, which is something quite interesting, unique. I have no idea how it works. If you want to pick up a copy of this, I would imagine they're going to become really common in a short period of time, because the new version is at the printers, P500 at the printers. I have got the Army Group Centre, the new version, and it's miles better. Really, really is top notch compared to the old title in terms of player aids, setup sheets, etc., etc. I've not really found much in the way of videos to help me play this. It's got quite a high complexity rating, which is surprising considering then the main rulebook isn't particularly big, but I suppose there's a lot of rules inside the playbook, so that must increase the complexity quite significantly. I think that's pretty much all I'm going to say at the moment. Yeah, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. There are a few charts which are wall mounted over here, but you could fit it all on. Oh yeah, I will mention the size of this. It's a difficult one to get to the table in terms of size. It's probably because of its like this funny sort of I can't even describe what it looks like in terms of shape, but you'd probably, its widest point, it's probably about 5 foot from north to south, and its widest point east to west is probably about 6 feet. Now I've had to mess with my table, pulling bits out to actually fit it on, so it's going to be a very difficult thing if you're playing the campaign to actually get everything on the table. There are lots of different scenarios. You don't have to, obviously don't have to play the campaign, but me being a madman, I always like to go to the campaigns. I like to show people what these games actually look like in their full majesty. So we pull this one out, you can probably see the entire map. So it's another big one. I've no idea how long I'll go with this. It's a bit of a difficult operation for the Germans. I think they actually achieved pretty much best case scenario historically. Very easy to get bogged down in this terrain. I don't like the look of what I'm seeing. The further north you go, the worse the terrain gets, and the deeper you go into the year, the worse the weather's going to get. Right, that'll do. Let's see how this one goes.